What's up guys, welcome to another video, and today I want to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S10. I bought this phone in July of 2022, so it's been roughly 9 months of me dailying this phone, and I thought it would be a good idea to share with you my experience with this phone, right? So let's talk about the build first. So this phone is a glass sandwich. It's got Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and Gorilla Glass 5 on the back with an aluminium frame. You've got your volume buttons and Bixby button on the left and your power button on the right. It's also got a headphone jack, and I still use that quite a lot. I mainly use wired headphones, so this is quite helpful for me and I enjoy having it there. You've got your USB-C charging port and a speaker grill and a microphone, and another microphone at the top for stereo sound when you're recording, and your SIM tray right there. Using this phone on a daily has been quite nice. It's quite light, only 157 grams, so it's not too heavy, and it doesn't feel heavy when using it. But prolonged use sometimes, especially on the pinky finger there, feels a bit painful, since the phone is literally balancing on that finger. But besides that, it's been quite good. It's held up quite well. I've dropped it quite a few times, but it's always in a case, and it hasn't fallen face down, so it's held up quite well so far. That's pretty much it. Let's move on to talk about the display, which is a curved display, by the way. And I quite enjoy it. It feels quite nice when scrolling, and it's quite nice for the gestures as well. That back gesture that we use nowadays, it feels quite natural on a curved screen. But the screen is a dynamic AMOLED screen, guys. HDR10 plus capable, and that's 6.1 inches of display, which is quite adequate for me. It's held up quite well. And for media consumption, it's been quite good. The colors are so nice and rich. I don't find myself yearning for something better at the moment. I haven't quite experienced anything better, to be honest. But this is a 60 Hz screen as well, for those of you who are interested in that. And it still gives out good visuals. It's still nice for your day-to-day. I use this mostly for Instagram, your TikTok, YouTube, and I've been quite happy with it. It gets quite bright, even outdoors. It's still good enough. Adaptive brightness works quite well when you're outside, because it really brightens up that screen to help you see and see everything clearly. The phone also has stereo speakers, which are quite good when viewing content. I find it quite nice when I'm using it, watching my YouTube videos and sometimes playing games. So I'm just going to give you an experience of what the screen is, and of how the screen is and how the speakers are when watching videos. So I'm just going to quickly, I was actually watching the highlights of the Formula 1 race, and I'm just going to play just one video so that to give you an idea of how the screen performs. So there's just an ad there. Just wait for that to play, and there we go.
Immediately Verstappen is chopping ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who will try and edge out Fernando Alonso. It's as you were from the top three. It's going to be close to contact, and Fernando Alonso is spun round by Carlos Sainz. Perez is off the road. It's Max Verstappen with the lead. Then it's Hamilton, and there's a crash at the back of the field. Into the wall goes Gasly, and it's absolute chaos on the restart. Oh, it's deep. He's deep. Stroll into the corner.
So I'm not sure you're going to get that stereo audio that I was talking about, but it's quite good. It's quite nice. I quite enjoy it, and I hope it was clear for you guys to see in that video how good the screen is. So let's move on, guys, to the day-to-day performance of the phone, how it holds up, and generally I've been quite impressed with this phone. Going into and out of apps, there you go. The apps load fairly quickly, and these are Samsung's default apps. There's your Chrome, loads up quite well. I just loaded up YouTube, so you guys would have seen that. There's your calendar app, loads up quite quickly. getting back into the apps, switching from app to app, I just want to show you guys how this phone has been and how nice it is to still use in 2023. We've accidentally placed a call there, but you can see even the camera app, jumping into the camera app quite quick, switching to selfie mode quite quick. So it's not the fastest phone, but it still works perfectly. Launching Google for a quick search, it still performs its tasks with no problem. It still gets into any app quite quickly. Jump into TikTok quickly. You're gonna wait, but that's how quickly you get into the app. So day-to-day performance has been quite well. The phone has a Snapdragon 855 chip, which holds up quite well, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite impressed with it over the past 9 months. And in terms of the battery has been quite good. It holds up quite well. And I'll just share with you screenshots of the battery to just show you what it's been like. I usually get at least through the day. I'm usually in the office at work, so I don't use the phone heavily. But on like weekends, I find myself charging the phone midway through the day. But generally the battery has held up. Sometimes I get at least 3, maybe 4 hours of screen on time, and up to maybe 16 hours of standby time. So the battery is still very good. Accu Battery, I use the Accu Battery app to just measure the battery health, and it was at 79% the last time I measured it. So still pretty good, gets me through the day, and is still still works perfectly, gets me through the day. So there's not much to complain about when it comes to the battery. It's actually quite good. It's still quite a good battery, and it doesn't need replacing as yet. I think one thing that's important to mention here is that this phone is no longer getting any updates. So as you can see, last updated 11 November 2022. That's when I did the One UI 4.1 update, the Android 12 update. And whenever I check for updates, there's nothing more. So this phone is not going to get any updates. There was a January security patch that was released, but I still haven't got it. I'm still running the October 2022 security patch. So there's that to keep in mind whenever you think about getting this phone. It's not going to get updates. It should be getting quarterly security patch updates. So I'm still waiting for that, and we'll see if this phone is going to get that. So let's quickly talk about the camera, guys. I'm sure a lot of you will be quite interested to see how the camera performs. So we've got a triple camera setup on the back, and that is your main sensor, your wide and your telephoto camera. And you've got a 10 megapixel selfie camera there, which is quite adequate as well in 2023. It's served me quite well as well. It's got good details, and I haven't had any trouble using this camera. So I'm just going to show you some samples, that I've taken, and you guys will be the judge of how good this camera is. Color reproduction is generally good. I like them. I'm not a photographer or anything, but I really like how the photos look. The portrait mode sometimes struggles with edge detection and that separation, especially with human subjects. So there is a bit of struggle there, but generally the photos are nice. Your night mode, it really brightens up shots, and I think it improves the level of detail when taking those shots at night, So anything that you need from this camera when it comes to, for social media or for anything else, this camera is quite good. It works well, takes great shots, and even for video, if you watch my S10 video, that video was recorded entirely on this S10. The footage was edited. I did very little editing on that footage, so you can check out that video and let me know what you think about the footage there. But this has been my experience with the S10, guys. It's held up quite well, and I think if you are looking for a secondary phone, if you are looking for a phone for your child, really this phone doesn't cost much today. It's less than $200 if I think 200 United States dollars today on Amazon. So if you're looking for something, maybe you broke your phone or you just need something to use on for gaming as well, it still does well, still plays games quite nicely. So yeah, guys, that's all I had to say. I don't want to make this video too long. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video useful, please leave a like and definitely subscribe to the channel. We are definitely going to be doing more videos about these older flagships. Having used this one for 9 months, I think it's time to move on to something else.